I have a triangle that is missing parts of its plot. Yes? What parts of its plot are missing? A leg, an hypotenuse, and one angle. Yes? All right. So I must need to find those things. In math class, if I don't know a value, what do I get to do? I get to give it a variable. Now, 99 times out of 100 in math class, can you give any variable you like?
Well, as long as it doesn't look like a number.
You could do that as long as you know it's a variable. Agreed? But in trigonometry, we have a certain method of the way we like to label things, yes? So in trig, I don't even have the stress of trying to pick an angle or trying to pick a variable, because the question tells me, what is this side right here? Little b. What is this side right here? Little c. Now, why is that weird? Why did I do that to you? Because what are you used to seeing?
Numbers.
You're used to seeing x's and y's, but in a triangle you're used to seeing ABCs, but what have I done to make it weird for you? Lil c is not the hypotenuse. So if you choose to do Pythagoras, you're going to need to be on your toes, aren't you? Excellent. And I have this third angle, which is already labeled with a nice big C, yes? All right. Now, is there one thing we can all agree on right now? What would that be, do you think? Thomas? You can all agree that that is 90. Excellent. That's the only thing we all know for sure. Now, as we begin to solve, is there something we can all agree on? What is that? Big C? Do we know big C automatically? What is it? Big C is 90 minus 65. Why? The angles have to add up to 180. You've used 90 of them here, which we all agreed on. So that means we have 90 degrees to split between the other two. Is everybody good? Now, there is one more thing that we can all agree on right now. But because we made this 25, it's going to wrinkle that up a little bit. What is the next thing we can agree on? What do we have that will allow us to perform trigonometric work? Kanika?
Sorry, I'm a bit confused. So, you know how 90 minus 65 is 25?
Yes.
What part is 25?
The third angle in the triangle. Angles are made by two lines meeting at a corner. Okay. Now, what can we agree on now that we know two angles? How does every trig question start?
We know 3 angles.
Yeah, but we don't do any trig at your level yet with 90 degrees, do we? We only do trig with the other two.
But we know that one
Yes.
is 25 and
Yeah.
one is 60.
Yes. And what do we call those angles when we have an angle with which we would like to work? Everybody agrees we have a theta now, yes? But now we're in trouble. Because what are the two options for theta? Theta could equal 65. Theta could equal 25. Does it matter? No. If theta is 65, that means this is the angle from where we will view the triangle, right? If theta is 25, then this is the angle from where we will view the triangle, yes? This is me before Thanksgiving. This is me after Thanksgiving. Does everybody understand? If I use the red theta, then what is 41? Opposite is 41. What then is lil c? Adjacent is lil c. And what is lil b? is little b. Right? Excellent. If I choose post-Thanksgiving, Mr. Myers, what is 41? Adjacent is 41. What is lil c? And what is lil b? Does everybody see we are already at a spot where half of the class could be working on the green side, half of the class could be working on the red side. Half of the class is Shag and Scoob, half of the class is Velma and Fred and Daphne. Does everybody understand? Okay, now, there's going to be another problem here. On the red side, the Shag and Scoob side, what trig could we do right now? We could do sine of 65, which would equal what? 41 over lil b. Right? That's one thing I could do. What else could I do? Tan of 65, which would equal what? 41 over what? Lil c. Half of the class that's working on the Shag and Scoob side, some of them might do sine. Some of them might do tan. Both will give you what? No, because one will get you B and one will get you C. But both will give you an answer, which is a piece of the puzzle we seek. Yes? Once I know little c, so if I did tan, once I know little c, how could I find B? So if I find little c, I could do Pythagoras, couldn't I? Or I could do cosine. Or I could do the sine that these guys did at the beginning. Once I have little b, what could I do? I could do Pythagoras. Or cosine. Or tan. And what will all of those three things eventually give me? The answer. So, could I take the yellow path? Sine, cos, tan. Would I get the right answer? Yes. Could I go the blue path? Tan, Pythagoras, cos. Yes. Is either one better or worse than the other? No. Problem for you people, because you are faced with choices. And for some strange reason, choices overwhelm you. Even though you live in the time of the history of the world where you have more choices about everything in the whole world than any other person before you has ever had. And yet, given you three choices in a math problem, but if I took you to the mall and said, let's get lunch, you would all immediately run to one of the food establishments in the mall and get food. Choices do not actually overwhelm you, except they do, because all of a sudden everyone's like, I don't know what to do. What if I use 25? Would it be any different? Of course not. It'd be exactly the same thing, wouldn't it? Everybody understand? Now, some of you are going to have some issues here because you're going to make not errors, but you are going to do some things of which I have warned you about. When you do some of this math, you're going to fill your calculator screen, aren't you? Right? And what are you going to do with that big, ugly number? You're going to round it, right? And every rounding gets you closer or further from the actual answer. Further. So maybe when I do the work and I show you the key, we might have a different decimal place. You guys go ape. But Mr. Myers, isn't it 59.3? Kid, I have 59.26. But it's not 59.3. Kid, it's okay. Everybody cool? How do you avoid that? Don't ever, 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 until you are sure, push the clear button on your calculator. That's how you avoid it. You're going to need all this information again, aren't you? And your calculator has that information in it, doesn't it? So let it be your friend. Hold the numbers there. If you are the type of student who cannot abide by me getting an answer that is 59.27 and you getting an answer that is 59.4, and you cannot see that those are obviously the same, then you need to practice how to keep your numbers on your calculator without rounding. Okay? And I know there are some of you in here that if I wrote the answer, B is 59.27, and you had B as 59.4, your hand would be up before I finished putting the cross on the 7. Your hand would have come up actually as I wrote the 2. And it's not a put down of you, right? It's just to let you know that you know what you're doing, okay? And you need to let this side of things go. And remember, this, damn it, that was supposed to be a highlighter. This is what matters. This is not. Which one of those two yellow things has more ink on it? The one on the left. So which one is therefore more important? The stuff on the left. Now, what if I have 59 and you have 303? Then should your hand be up? Damn Skippy, your hand should be up. Everybody understand? Jasleen.
Oh, never mind. I thought I had a question. Now I'm thinking about it.
Go get a gummy bear. Go get a gummy bear.
Yeah, same here.
No. No. She gets a gummy bear for putting her hand up, thinking she had a question, and solving her own problem. I disagree. Who is the arbiter of the gummy bears, Brendan? Exactly. I can give my gummy bears as I see fit. Okay. So right now, you are going to do page 62. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 questions, 30 seconds a question. It should take 6 minutes. Go. I lie. I'll give you 8 because I love you that much. I know, right? Stop it, Mr. Myers. You're going to make me cry. You will notice that I have not given you answers to this page, which means I am more than within my rights to call it an assignment and give it for marks. Yes? If I so chose. That would be silly, because I'm quizzing you on this tomorrow. Of course I'm quizzing you on this tomorrow. Are these triangles? Did you have to draw them? No. Do you have to do SOHCAHTOA? And your quiz tomorrow is on triangles, of which you must use sine, cos, or tan. So this could very well be exactly what your quiz looks like tomorrow. Okay?
Are we going to be a time limit?
Of course there is. Of course there is going to be a time limit. Because in every question, you do not need to draw the triangle, nor do you have more choices in front of you than maximum 3. And it's not even 3, because if you know what you're doing, you automatically know which one you're going to use. Because if the hypotenuse is written there, you know it's sine or cos. If it's adjacent, it's cos. If it's opposite, it's sine. So it takes 5 seconds to decide what your course of attack is, yes? So if I give you 10 questions, before you touch your calculator, you need approximately 50 seconds. And you could know exactly what you're going to punch in your calculator for all 10, don't you? If you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then you are going to need more time, yes? And if you don't know what you're doing, shouldn't your assessment reflect that you do not know what you're doing? which is also why I'm giving you a quiz, because quizzes do not count against your assessment. McKenna. Excuse me, that was a long bit of talking without any breath. I'm a little...
Is it gonna be like just like the side or is it gonna be find all the angles?
It might be find all the angles, because all of that is part of what we are doing. Okay? All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, I know that you know what you're doing, but it is time to discuss it. Now, once again, what is more useful to you as a student? Trying to find the answer or taking that 1 extra second to write out what you should be doing? Write it out, because if you write it out, it is impossible to do it wrong. Because you have been given the SOHCAHTOA, you have been given the diagram on your data sheet that you're allowed to have that explains it to you. So, in this question right here, you have a problem in that you have 2 unknown angles. How many angles must you find?
One.
You only need to find 1 because the other one is just subtraction, yes? Already in the very first question, number 1, we are in trouble because some of you will find that angle, yes? And some of you will find that angle, yes? But no matter which you did, you automatically know both, don't you? How many people found C? Only 1 of you? Great. So that means when I say how many people find B, 29 hands will go up, yes? How many people found B? 29 hands, it has to be. Because Jaslene's the only person in the class that found C. Way to go, Jasleen. If I was Jasleen, my theta is C, my opposite is 3, and my hypotenuse is 5. What uses O and H? Sine. If my theta was B, what is my 3 is my adjacent, and my hypotenuse is 5. So you would have used cosine. Once you know one of those, you automatically know both because you can subtract. If you did this one, it is, of course, shift sine 3/5, because hypotenuse is always in the denominator. If you did this one, it is, of course, shift cos 3/5, because hypotenuse is always in the denominator. Some of you are so good at math, you don't even need to do 3 divided by 5. You already know it's 0.6. So you could just go shift sine 0.6 equals. Or, if you have a backwards calculator, 0.6 shift sine. Whose responsibility is it to know how their calculator works? Yours. And once you know one of those, you automatically know both. Then, again, you're faced with a difficult choice. Do you continue to work with B, or do you switch? If you continue to work with B, do you use tangent? Or do you use Pythagoras from the very beginning? Is one better than the other? No. You have to decide. And I watch you when I give you questions like this. You sit there and you stress about which method to go about doing it. There is no stress, is there? Because every road leads you back to the right answer. Trig, even though we use triangles, is really a circle. Huh? It's a literal triangle, but it's a figurative circle. Because no matter what path you get, no matter where you start on the circle, you always get back to the end. I should take this crap on the road. No. Everybody good? Go back to work.